time I seen her, she was like, I got tickets to see the Rolling Stones. Come on, let's go. What? Lady, me and you'll be standing next to each other in the front row, then I'll get missing because I'm up on stage sucking Mick Jagger in the mouth. You don't know me like that, white lady. I'm telling you, I be tripping. She was like, that's okay. Johnny was the first to quit the group when her father decided the only music he wanted her to sing was gospel. Because he was managing a number of groups at the time, Mr. Montague was able to replace Johnny pretty quickly. He moved Sandra Tucker from the Tonettes, making her the latest Ordette. Sandra could really blow, still can. Music is in her blood. Her father is Ira Tucker, lead singer of the legendary gospel quartet, the Dixie Hummingbirds. While we were still breaking Sandra into the group, Yvonne and Jean each fell in love. Soon after they both left the Ordettes to get married, Yvonne married Mr. Montague's son, Eugene. I was sorry to see all the other original Ordettes go. That be killing me when people be leaving stuff to be a mama. That's crazy to me. A very nice career in modeling to be my mammy. She is crazy. That's befuddling to me. But you know, people just have different goals in life. We had so much history together, forming the group, working out our routines in front of Chubby and Naomi, the excitement of those early performances. But I understood their reason for leaving, just as they understood mine for pushing on. I wished them well. That left Sandra and me alone together. Mr. Montague assured us that it wouldn't take long to find replacements, and we took his word for it. In the meantime, we continued to sing in his review, but with one big difference. Whenever we had a show, we sang separately as soloists. As a soloist, I was getting steady work and a good response in the Montague review. But I wasn't really happy in the spotlight alone. I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted to get back out in front of a group. At that time, nothing excited me as much as going through the routines we worked out as the Ordettes. 4 girls in tune with one another. For weeks, Mr. Montague held auditions without signing anyone. He said finding the right girls was more than just finding the right voices. Sure, it was about harmony, but in a group that would be spending as much time together as we would, harmony is much more than just hitting the right notes. It's a total mix. It's chemistry. It's symmetry. It's easy to recognize but hard to define. It's something you just feel. And so far, he hadn't gotten that feeling until the day Mr. Montague hooked us up with Nona and Sir Dash, 2 other teenagers from Trenton. Let me tell you something. Y'all know that Sir Dash has passed on to where all the sexy women go. Okay, with them big lips. Oh my God, that's Sir Dash. Now, Nona was exciting, but it was just something about that Sir Dash and them big, full, pretty lips. Ooh, just to think it was a time that you motherfuckers made fun of me for having big lips. Now, all the young girls want to look like brat dolls. But goddamn, that damn Sir Dash. Ooh, y'all, I used to go on that lady DMs and ask her to see a pair of her old panties from 1972. I ain't playing. And then she went on to sing with professionals like Keith Richards. Oh my gosh. Ooh, pause. Let me tell you something. So I got this white lady at my job. She doesn't work with me, But she's someone that comes through frequently, and every time she comes, she be like, I got tickets. Who you got tickets to today? Mother's Finest. I be like, Mother's Finest? She was like, you want to go? I be like, white lady, you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. If I go there, I'm going to embarrass you. The last time I seen her, she was like, I got tickets to see the Rolling Stones. Come on, let's go. What? Lady, me and you'll be standing next to each other in the front row, then I'll get missing because I'm up on stage sucking Mick Jagger in the mouth. You don't know me like that, white lady. I'm telling you, I be tripping. She was like, that's okay. Until the day Mr. Montague hooked us up with Nona and Sir Dash, 2 other teenagers from Trenton, New Jersey. He had heard them performing in the Del Capri around girl groups on the local circuit and convinced them to sign with him. He put them in the Tonettes for a while, but when the quartet lost another singer, Mr. Montague blended the remaining Tonettes with the remaining Ordettes, Sarah and Nona, Sandra and me. Mr. Montague was right. It was perfect harmony. The way we sounded together, the way we moved together, the way we fit together. It was seamless, smooth, sugar sweet. Together we put the Ordettes back in business. Once we started getting bookings as a quartet again, Mr. Montague backed us up with the hottest band around to complete the package. Chubby and I had our talk. I know it was hard for her. It was hard for me too. I had come so close to graduating just 1 semester away, but I also was close to musical success. Too close to let it slip away. Chubby understood that. When she gave me her blessing, I dropped out of high school, a decision that would trouble me for years. It bothered me so much that when I was in my 30s, I went back to Battram High to finish what I started, to get the one thing that fame and fortune couldn't give me, my high school diploma. Nona and Sir quit school too, but unlike me, they both studied on the road, and it wasn't long before they earned their diploma through a correspondence course. Sandra wanted to leave school too, but her parents told her if she was going to quit anything, it would be the group. That would be what my mama would do. Fuck all that singing and, jigging and stomping your feet and clapping your hands. You going to school, little girl. Mama, but success is right there. It's right there. Boop, I can touch it, mama. Let me touch it. Girl, I don't give a fuck about no star that you could touch. You going back to school. Hate old hating ass mammy. Just when we thought we had it all together, here we were again, looking for another Ordette. This time we found her in a breeze. With a little luck and a little word of mouth, a songbird flew our way. Cynthia Birdsong wasn't from Philly. Cynthia grew up in Camden, New Jersey, and got the word Mr. Montague was looking to sign a girl singer from her hometown friend, Alexander Wilde, who Montague also managed. One afternoon, she turned up on Mr. Montague's doorstep. When she introduced herself, I thought, girlfriend with a name like Birdsong, you better be able to sing. Cindy handled the pressure like a pro. She remembers all of us watching as she stood in Mr. Montague's living room singing It Could Happen to You. When she finished, it definitely happened for her. She more than lived up to her name. She was awesome, and her face was as beautiful as her voice. That ain't what the Sir Dash said. The Sir Dash said that bitch was all right. It ain't like we was needing her. She was okay. And her face was as beautiful as her voice. Of all the girls who had auditioned, I hadn't seen anyone who even came close to her look or her artistry. When she hit the last note, Mr. Montague's face said it all. Cindy was in. We were a quartet. We found our new one. In the early days, the four of us really were like sisters, closer, if you could imagine it. You know that expression, it is but a chance that makes sisters, but hearts that make friends. Well, that was Nona, Cindy, Sarah, and me, best buddies, sisters of the spirit, soulmates. It was partly because we shared the same dream, but mostly because we understood one another. With them, I felt completely at ease. Nona told me about her days growing up poor in Trenton, where her friend George Clinton used to cut her hair. Of course, this was long before George discovered his real calling as Dr. Funkenstein, head of the musicians who became famous as the P-Funk All-Stars. Nona was one of 7 children, and she called herself a stone ghetto knight. Like my father, Nona's father at one time had worked for the railroad. While Daddy was a big-time gambler, Nona said her father was a big-time drinker. Sarah's family was even bigger than Nona's. One of 13 children, Sarah, too, had grown up poor in Trenton's inner city. Her father, a minister, didn't approve of her singing anything but gospel music. He used to tell her she was singing for the devil. Cindy grew up in the projects of Camden, and like the rest of us, she started singing in church. Though you could never tell it by looking at her, Cindy was 5 years older than the rest of us. She used to make me swear on my life I would never tell anyone her real age. You mean like that goddamn Michelle from Destiny's Child? Because we all knew that damn Michelle is 62 right now. That bitch is 62. And she signed some kind of contract with Mr. Matthew Knowles that if you ever tell your real age, then your life belongs to me, the devil. She used to make me swear on my life I would never tell anyone her real age. I kept her secret, but I teased her about it constantly. I always called her Mom. We were inseparable back then. Whenever you saw one, you saw 4. After spending all day rehearsing in Mr. Montague's basement, we would walk over to my house where Chubby would cook us dinner. My mother loved Sarah, Nona, and Cindy like they were her own. Many a night when they were too beat to go home, Chubby passed out blankets and the 4 of us slept on the living room floor. In my whole life, I had never felt so close to anyone, not to Vivian, not to Barbara, not to Jackie. For a while, Sarah, Nona, and Cindy became my sisters, the people I shared everything with, and my sisters became just people who shared my last name. There was a time when people would show me early photos of the Bluebells, and I'd get this sick, hollow feeling in the pit of my stomach. It reminded me of what is lost forever, and how they had hurt me, and how I had hurt them. When we first broke up, those old pictures used to make me recall things that are best left forgotten. You mean like that shitty ass Cindy Bird song that just up and left because Diana Ross said come on and then gooped her? Just looking at them would make me remember how the dream became a nightmare. But that's a story I'll save for later. When we started out, we believed we would stay together until the end of time. The 4 of us, one for all and all for one, together forever. That unshakable bond became the glue that held us together in the lean years when we were doing wall-to-wall one-nighters for $10 a show. As word spread that we were good, really good, we started getting gigs all over the place. By early 1962, we were performing nonstop, truck stops, juke joints, honky-tonks. In the early 60s, the biggest black names in the show business played the Chitlin circuit. Work of top black clubs and theaters that included the Apollo in New York, the Howard in Washington, D.C., the Royal in Baltimore, the Uptown in Philadelphia, and the Regal in Chicago. In the early days, the only way we could get in the chittering circuit was to buy a ticket and sit in the audience. That left us playing the sardine houses, the little out-of-the-way rooms where the crowd was packed in so tight that we would barely do our turns without slapping somebody upside the head. Looking back, I don't know how we did it. If we cleared $100 a week between us, we thought we were rolling. But back then, it wasn't about money. It was about the dream, the sensation. The schedule was brutal. A lot of times we did double shows, a matinee and an evening performance. There was no such thing as a day off. As soon as we finished one show, the four of us piled into Mr. Montague's station wagon and drove to the next. For nearly 4 years, that's how we got from city to city, show to show. We burned up several station wagons, burning up the highway. It was grueling, but it was glorious. We were so young and innocent and starry-eyed. And the way we saw it, it was just a proving ground. We knew all the small-time, small-town one-nighters were paving the way for the big time, big city headliners. It happened in Mr. Montague's basement. We were waiting for Mo to begin rehearsal. Mo is the band leader. It wasn't like him to be late. But when he finally rushed in, we found out what the holdup was. He was excited. He had been approached by the president of a record company who had hired Mo to help produce one of his groups. This guy's looking to sign a girl group, Mo told us. And guess who I recommended? The audition was set.
Taking a ride on the east side. Made a left on MLK. What a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. Riding high on the west side. Looking for a hood rat to play. Won't you come out and play, won't you come out and play. Hey, taking a ride. Hey, hey, on the south side. Ooh, ooh. Hey, hey, hey.